I'm gonna do this one. Hopefully, since I'm the king of the underground on YouTube, you get people. They said that in El Paso, they have a cut back on the funding, and they don't have a suicide hotline for the kids that are transgender in El Paso to talk to somebody about wanting to commit suicide. And when I was in Sheridan, Wyoming, I lost my first son to the courts through political correctness, and it was devastating. We'd been abused by the courts through political correctness because I was a white heterosexual male and his mom was a black homosexual female, and she used the courts to just abuse the hell out of us. And I finally ended up losing him in the courts because of that in Arizona. When I went up to Wyoming, my second ex-wife was about 14 years younger than me. She to get me into the marriage, she asked me to help her raise her daughter because she wasn't quite prepared, and I was such a good father. And as a reward for that, she ran my son out of the house and kept getting pregnant to keep me in the marriage. Because when you have economics as manipulation for a good father, that's how you keep him in control, is use the courts and money to make him do what you want. And it's absolutely atrocious, and it really is depressing. And when she was doing that to me in Wyoming and I was having to go through the courts and go through all this stuff, I literally thought a couple of times about just, I can't raise my kids, I can't do anything. I just wanted to take the Honda and just run under a semi-truck. And I was sitting there and a little voice in my head goes, the way this damn stupid car is, the way the seat is, it would flat back, you'd break your back, end up in the hospital, end up in a wheelchair, and you'd end up killing the guy in the semi-truck who's probably a good guy and has kids too. I was like, yeah. So I had to talk myself out of it, and I'm like, okay. But I just thought about it because I'm like, I'm going to lose my kids. I just lost my son. I can't take this anymore. And then we ended up getting moved to Sierra Vista, Arizona for the military to continue studying me and challenge me on my greatness because of who I am. My life stories in the book of Revelation. If you've been paying attention to this channel, you're aware of that. And she was doing the same thing, and the courts were doing the same thing. I thought, I'm going to lose the kids, and I'm not going to be able to raise my kids, and she cheats with everybody in town, and the courts are just horrible. And I literally thought about stepping out onto Highway 90 in Cochise County and just letting one of those stupid Fast and Furious wannabes that had the nitro on their cars, and I thought, well, I'll just step in front of one of those crazy fuckers and let them run me over and get it over with. And then I thought to myself, well, my luck, I'd bounce up, end up in the wheelchair, not end up dead again, and then, and then they would say, okay, and they'd take the kids away because I was crazy. Then I'd have to live through it and be hard, then I'd have to find new ways. Can somebody help me kill myself? Because, God dang it, I'm in a wheelchair and I'm quadriplegic now, right? Just take the pillow and put it right over my fucking face. Come on, Chief, do it. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's an old movie with Jack Nicholson, but some people know what it's about. So I've been there twice. So a lot of people you think about, I thought about committing suicide twice because of the way the courts were just torturing me and my children. And they eventually ended up taking my children away after I went online and said I was the Messiah and put all my energy into trying to stop human trafficking of migrating children across the border, because I thought if that was my kids, I really put the energy into it. And people, the military then came and took my kids and gave them back to my wife, who left me for a guy she met doing online that talked her into doing porno to pay his bills. And then he came back to the United States and used the youngest kid to get his citizenship that she got pregnant by other men with. And he got a job from NASA, yeah. So I understand why a lot of you want to commit suicide. Okay, I understand. So I fully understand why you think the world sucks. It's never going to get better. Everybody that's good gets fucked by evil people, and they all get away with it, and they laugh. Okay? So I don't want to have kids. I don't want to bring children into this hell. And then it's so bad, I just want to kill myself. I completely understand you guys. Okay? But don't do it, okay? Life's eternal and grace is infinite. And people that are empathetic and respectful enough to realize how miserable this world is because of all this technological mind-fucking bullshit that makes you think, I don't want to have kids, I want to be touched, I want to be kissed, I want to hold somebody, I want to feel good. It feels good to be sexually touched and sexually touch others that will be nice to you and not try to give you sexually transmitted diseases and talk shit about you and make fun of you, right? But they're on TV. They're raised to be clever, to seduce people, outsmart people. My second ex-wife used to do that all the time. I'd sit there and say, my daughter's 7 and told me about you masturbating with a guy from the army online, and she's like, didn't you ever want to do that? Talk to me. It's like, no. I want to be a wife that enjoys intimacy with me and enjoys our children, and then doesn't, when I'm at work, trying to pay the bills to survive in this hell, doesn't go online with murdering assholes and says, hey, and wants my kids to watch. I know. It makes me want to, go find him and his military base and shove his nose to the back of his skull. That's how you feel, and I understand that too. So you get fits of suicidal rage and homicidal rage with all these horrible human beings doing horrible things to us. So I understand all the extremes, guys, and I understand how horrendously difficult it is. Okay, but do not take other people's lives. It's not going to help. It's just going to make your life miserable. And you think it's hard to try to commit suicide when you're on the outside. On the inside, they can tie you up and give you medication and drug you till you're just like a vegetable that they keep alive so they can make money off of your torture. So I understand all this stuff, like, good gravy, it's horrible, you're convincing me to commit suicide. No, okay, you can't. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. It's a temporary escape to a perpetual solution when you stand up for Lord's Prayer and want to live it worldwide because you really love people, okay? And if they get good people that want to live the Lord's Prayer to commit suicide, that means we have more assholes with satellite surveillance that are addicted to manipulating people and feeling powerful off of it, and using money and technology to get dopamine and adrenaline rushes off of getting people that they feel don't deserve to be alive because they're not smart enough, they're not cool enough, and they're not tricky dicky enough. So do you understand? So we need you, okay? If you're a considerate, kind person, most people, if they're selfish and shitty and they're homosexual, they're not going to call suicide hotline. They're going to get HIV, and they're going to try to find people to have sex with to give as many people HIV as they can before they die from it too. That's what selfish people do. Okay. But good, kind-hearted kids call and reach out and say, I don't want to die and I don't want to be sad and I want a reason for living. Well, the reason for living is the perfection of faith in the glory of God, and understanding that the Lord's Prayer given to us by the Spirit of the Messiah is perfect. And when we live that, we have a perfect reason for living. We can't be manipulated by people with technology and money. And our relationships will be meaningful. And a lot of you will probably change. A lot of you girls will think, I want to meet a nice guy and have kids with them. And a lot of you guys will say, I don't want to engage in sex just for sex that could possibly kill me because I don't want to be alive. I might be changing my mind. That Marilyn Monroe's gorgeous. So's Halle Berry and Dorothy Dandridge and Madonna and J-Lo and Janet Jackson and Beyonce. And if one of them walked up to me and said, I love you. I love you too, Selena. Yeah, gorgeous, right? So she walked up to you and said, I love you too. Now I'm dreaming with you tonight and forever and all of my life. There's no more place I'd rather be than here in my room, dreaming with you endlessly, right? So guys, focus on living the Lord's Prayer. So our divas don't get shot by their fan club presidents, and they don't commit suicide because they have affairs with the president, because they feel the same stress and abuse from corporate genocide corruption. That's Marilyn Monroe of the Kennedy case, in case any of you young kids are not history majors. But I love you guys very much. Okay, hang in there. I hope this one rolls real fast. I know it's very complicated, but being abused by corporate corruption with technology and money is very complicated. And living the Lord's Prayer and standing up for it at the top of our lungs and saying we'll accept nothing less than the perfect love of a perfect Father, and then we can enjoy the virtue of perfect mothers. So stand up and do it so you can be that way too. Okay? I love you kiddos very much. Hang in there, okay? And be strong and know that you are loved eternally. All right? Peace.